It's the 21st century, and it's time for you to break free from the old ideas, the old beliefs, the old shackles that have been holding you back and keeping you bound in misery and failure. It's time to learn the truth about your power and about what's really going on in the world. Everything that you see and experience is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Nothing more, but nothing less. Learn the truth. Change your life. Change the planet. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reality Changer Radio. This is Dickey, your host. It is Tuesday at 6 p.m. And tonight I'd like to talk about something that's really important in manifesting and using the law of attraction, and that is what I call the art of letting go. In a lot of my workshops, or if I'm talking to people that have just met me, I will get their interest by telling them they just need to stop caring. And so I get a lot of responses, as you can imagine, like, well, what do you mean stop caring? How can I stop caring? And when I explain to them exactly what I'm talking about, they get it. What I mean by stop caring is to stop holding on to whatever it is that you're trying to make happen. Now, with our slave mentality and our broken limited programming, we've been taught to hang on and worry and do all the other stuff about any subject that really matters to us that we think we have some importance in. I mean, let's face it, even organized religion came up with worry beads. I mean, I think it was them. I don't know because I try not to. But worry beads are out there. There's a whole lot of stuff. Aren't you concerned about it? Don't you care about it? How many times have you heard that? How many times have people thought you were less than you were supposed to be because you didn't talk a lot about what you were involved with? And you'd be right not to. The biggest problem that we have, and this is something that you've been taught, is that people tend to hang on to the concept of whatever it is that they're trying to create or that they're worried about. Letting go is two facets. It has the one facet of letting go of the past, which is very important in your personal evolution. The second facet is letting go of the present while you're trying to manifest the future. What I mean by that is that you need to, when you're manifesting, when you're trying to bring in the law of attraction, you need to set aside certain times when you do this. And in between those times, you need to let it go. You need to focus on something else. Concern yourself with something else. The underlying key here is a firmly entrenched belief system inside of you that all will be taken care of by the universe and not by you. You are the receptor of all that is. You put your wish list out there, and you receive. You don't want to concern yourself with the how. You don't want to concern yourself with what if it doesn't work. You don't want to concern yourself with everything you've been told to by the people that could never do what you do. And it's not that they can't do it because they can't do it. They can't do it because they were taught to believe it's impossible. They were taught to believe that only certain people can do it, or that nobody can do it, or that it doesn't even exist. And these are the types of things that will get in your way, hold you back, and make you unsure of whether or not you actually have the power to control your life. The art of letting go, and it is an art form, is so important to your manifesting. Because the longer you hang on to something, whether you're worried about something or you're happy about something or you're trying to manifest something, the longer you hang on to that, it's going to stay with you. And when you're manifesting, you want to be able to create this multi-dimensional image with feelings and awareness, and then bam, put it out there in the universe. And only way you can do that is to forget about it. In a very real sense, is to stop caring about it in between the times that you're working on creating it. Okay? It needs to be let go. And this is a process that you can get into a habit of. And you can even make physical schedules. You can say, okay, on Tuesdays from 7 to 8, because I have to listen to Reality Changer Radio first, because that's most important. I have to hear Dave. On Tuesdays between 7 and 8, I'm going to manifest and then let it go. And then on Thursdays at 2 to 3, I'm going to manifest and then let it go. Be mindful that you follow a consistent curriculum of manifesting and letting go. Manifesting and letting go. You want to get in that habit. You want to get into that solid habit of, no matter what it is you're trying to create, nail down your time frame, and really, you really don't need more than 5 or 10 minutes at a whack when you're manifesting. You just need to employ all of the tools and the processes. And then when you're done with your 10-minute time period, or 15 minutes if you want to go 15 minutes, then switch your focus. Switch your focus to something else. Well, go watch a TV program, or play on the computer, or read a book, or go for a walk, or go for a drive, hang out at the beach. Whatever is totally opposite and away from any resemblance of what it is that you're trying to create at the moment. And it's important that you get it away from any resemblance, because what will happen is, let's say for instance you're trying to manifest a different car. And okay, so you've done that, you did your 10-15 minutes, and now you're going to go for a drive. No, don't go for a drive. Because you're going to be in a car, and as long as you're in the car, it's going to trigger responses, even subliminally, that are going to make you hang on to the concept. You're going to have fleeting thoughts about it, all this other stuff, and it's going to get in the way. So I would say if you're working for a car, then go take a walk, or go read a book or something else. Okay? Those kind of things are important to correct manifesting. Now let's get into the letting go of the past for a minute. Letting go of the past comes with another aspect. And that aspect is the forgiveness of your programmers. And that comes into play with the understanding that they only did what they were programmed to do. So much crap has been stuffed into your head about vengeance and justice and anger and retribution and all this other stuff that's all crap. It's all crap. Because those things are results of old school programming with limited belief systems, and they are designed to keep you enslaved by the puppet masters. You don't want to do that anymore, do you? Are you happy regurgitating crap that happened to you 30 years ago? Does it make you smile when you think about how horrible your childhood was? Why would you do that to yourself? You can't change what happened. I'm not saying you can. But you can change how you deal with it by understanding why it happened. And I mean really why it happened. Not like, well, that guy was a freaking monster. No, it goes deeper. It goes way deeper than that. And it also goes to the point of forgiving yourself, because as children, we often blame ourselves for stuff that's going on in the family when it's not really us. And nobody helps us with that, really. Because we're taught, before we do that, we're taught to just absorb all this guilt and fear and crap. So naturally, we make ourselves the center of the world, and you know the rest of the story. What I mean by understanding what really went on is by understanding how the people that you dealt with, good, bad, or indifferent, how they came to be doing what they were doing. The reality is, it's no different than why you're doing what you're doing. You're doing what you're doing because you were programmed that way. They did what they did because they were programmed that way. And programming, as we all know, takes on many different facets. It can be a nasty attitude from a family member that never changes. For some reason, they're just in a crap mood all the time, and that's from their programming. But that can affect a kid growing up. It's like, oh, you know, the guy hates me, or whatever. These things affect you growing up, and they shape you and change you and program you to act the way you do. Now, once you get a logical understanding of why you do what you do, imagine the immense amount of work that comes into play when you take that concept and apply it to your transgressors from the past. Imagine that. And apply it to the people that treated you like gold in the past. Because now you've got two different variables. You can examine this entire process. I mean, you know, you ever look at your family tree? Well, look at it a little differently this time. Look at your family tree as a programming situation where, okay, this guy drank like a fish and was never sober. Why? Old school programming would go, well, he just had a drinking problem. End of story. He was a drunk, alcoholic. Yeah, but why? He wasn't born an alcoholic. He didn't have booze in his baby bottle that made him an alcoholic. What made him an alcoholic? You see, these are the things that he was programmed to drink for some reason. Something set him off. Could have been the stress that he couldn't deal with, that he was never taught how to deal with. Could have been a lot of things. There's a whole story, multitudes of stories behind everyone's programming. So when you finally get to the point where you say, okay, I understand, I need to look at why I do things, and okay, now I understand why I do things, now let me go about changing those things. But you cannot come to a realization of yourself without having an aha moment of the people who programmed you. It's impossible. You can't have both. And so when you have that aha moment, this is when it's time to start forgiving and letting go. Because just the simple fact that you can't let go of something from your past, just that simple equation can play a part in sabotaging what you do in your manifesting and what you do in your day-to-day life. It could play a subliminal part, and you walk around like a chicken with its head cut off trying to figure out what's going on. I'm telling you, this is real. It's happening. It's happened to you. It's happened to everybody. Okay? The biggest thing here, in order to let go, is you need to become solidly entrenched with the concept of why you do what you do. And it's because of the programming from your programmers. And your programmers didn't have it any easier than you had it. Actually, they had it harder because their programmers were more ignorant than your programmers. And let's not forget, we all come from a farm mentality right now. 100 years from now, I won't be saying that. 100 years from now, you'll be listening to me on the radio, maybe, and I'll be talking about how there was a time when, but right now, we're here, it's 2014, and we're still on the farm mentally, no matter what our phones can do. So the art of letting go encompasses forgiving, because, hey, how can you hate somebody that didn't do it deliberately? Yeah, sure, you were brought up to believe that that kind of action doesn't just randomly happen. Somebody deliberately has to do that. But see, that's where it stops, and that's where the focus is short-sighted, because, yeah, sure, but what made them want to do that? Again, you have to go back to somebody's birth. They weren't born beating people up. They weren't born molesting people. They weren't born killing people. What happened? What happened? Something happened. Something happened with their programming, and it wasn't their fault. It's not their fault. And let's face it, only now are we in the 21st century where we are experiencing teachers and organizations that are telling everyone about this. Your programmers didn't have a chance in hell of getting any advice like this, because if anybody came up along, oh, you know, it's all voodoo, it's all purple smoke and mirrors, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, or, you know, that's disrespectful to God, or that's blasphemy, or, you know, a whole list of things in order to prevent you from listening. Fortunately, times have changed. Fortunately, a whole lot of people have woken up to the concept that, you know what, there is something else going on here. And it doesn't have to be anti-religious. There is something else going on here. The concept here is that you're not a human being with a soul. You're a soul with a body. And once you start changing that thinking, the whole game changes. The whole entire game changes. I'm not a human being. I'm on Earth, and I'm occupying a human body. Now, that's a whole lot different than you're a human being who was born with guilt and shame, and the only way that you can clear that guilt and shame is to go to a specific building every week and talk to another human being and admit how guilty and shameful you are. And that's the only way that you're going to get closer to God. Well, I don't think so. We're already spiritual beings. You know, that would be like God made a mistake along the ways. You know, and if you believe in the Old Testament where God will smote the entire planet because he doesn't like what's going on, don't you think that he would have done something about the rest of it? The fact of the matter is, most of the stuff that's out there is done for control. It's done to keep you inside a shell of slavery. It's to keep you down in the lower vibrations of guilt and shame and anger and frustration and self-doubt. Because as long as you're there, the puppet masters can manipulate you into doing whatever they want you to do. They can keep you afraid, they can keep you worried, keep you concerned, keep you going here, here, and here, and here, and never allowing you a moment's peace to just relax and experience the wonder of spirit that you are. We are all of God. We don't need another person in a human being suit to tell us that. We don't need that person to guide us to a spiritual place where we already are. All we really need to do is to wake up to the concept that we are made in the supreme image of the universe, the creative, powerful spirit of the universe. We are part of that. And we could do whatever we want to do. People don't like it because that means that certain people can't have control over you. Imagine how many people out there wouldn't like that. The fact of the matter is, you can do it. And part of doing it, one of the important parts of doing it, is letting go. You have to let go of all the crap. You have to let go of the past. You have to let go of whatever feelings you have there. And I'm not saying it's easy, but just understand this is an important part of the process. And so when you're making all your new stuff, you have to be able to just let it go. You know, one of the things that I do a lot of times is I'll have my coffee out on my balcony in the morning, and I find that to be one of my most creative times. And I will sit out there, and this is after I've done my manifesting for the day in bed. When I'm still in the theta state, I'll sit out on my balcony with my coffee, and I'll allow the things that I want to have happen today just kind of wash over me, kind of like distant memories. And then I'll stop and concentrate on the clouds and listen intently to the birds singing. Or maybe stare at the stucco on the outside of the house and try to focus in on some of that. These are things that are easy to do, and these are things that take your intent away from the manifesting. And as soon as you do that, it shoots out. Okay? So letting go has got different phases to it. Letting go is one of the most important parts of manifesting. You need to regulate those times when you're manifesting and when you're not. And when you're not, don't do anything that resembles what you're trying to create. Okay? I mean, you've got all the different tools, you know, the daily exercise and you're acting as if and all this other stuff. But in between those, let it go. Just let it go. And understand that everything's going to be taken care of. And as you get successes over time, be mindful to allow yourself to be grateful that everything is being taken care of. Because the more that you can do that, the more solidly you will build a belief system that it's all taken care of. And so when you go to let it go, then it'll be much easier. As time rolls on, it'll be like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. And you won't even think about why you're letting it go. You just know that that's part of the process. Everything's okay. It's all taken care of, whatever. And you just, bam, you let it go. And as time goes on, you see more and more results. You see greater and greater things happening. Things are happening faster. Things are happening easier. And it's just really part of the process is letting go. But it comes with that solid belief that it's okay. Everything's going to be taken care of. I did what I had to do, and that's the end of it. It's okay. And, we get so wrapped up with this constant instant gratification society, well, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? You got to let that crap go too. Okay? Because it's all a process. Because part of the process of how long it's going to take for your manifestation to appear is your own awareness and your own openness to allowing it in. Okay? Don't forget that important part. All right? So letting it go, letting your past go, forgiving people because they were programmed just like you are. Okay? So let everything go. And then when you're manifesting, let that go. That's what I tell people. You got to stop caring so much. And people, oh, well, what do you mean by that? And I laugh and I engage them in conversation because then all of a sudden I have their attention. But, to just use the common English language, it is about not caring as much as you used to. Because of the reasons you were taught to care and the way that you were taught to care. And they all contain worry and plan B and self-doubt and frustration and all that other crap. It's all crap. So that is all I have for you tonight, kids. But I feel it was important enough to devote a show to because it's really, really, really important. Both sides of it. Letting go of the past and letting go of what you're manifesting. And so we're going to wrap it up for tonight, but I wanted to remind everybody that the new website is out. It's at the same location, whatyouthink.com. Go out and kick it around. Hopefully it's going to be more engaging and more user-friendly. We have a product store coming soon. I'm hoping to launch that in April. A lot of the stuff that we talk about, the A and B column sheets, and we're going to have audio classes on there because a lot of people can't make it to the lectures. So what I'm trying to do is just engage everybody and allow everybody to have access to this information when you either cannot make the lectures and the workshops or you can't afford the total cost of it. Okay, and I understand that too. So this store that's coming up is geared towards making everything not only affordable and valuable, but accessible so that everything is there at your fingertips. We're going to be featuring products from Bob Proctor, Abraham Hicks, Jack Canfield, and a whole bunch of others, besides original products from Reality Changer. Okay? Now, this coming Saturday, March 29th, join me at the Owl's Lantern in Fullerton. We're going to do a 3-hour workshop from 2 to 5. And it's going to be about wealthy mindset and the law of attraction. You're going to love this. Because one of the things that I'm going to teach you is how to change your habits so that you start creating a wealth vibration around you. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, I thought so. There's a lot of stuff that you can do because remember, kids, it always takes physical action. It's part of the plan. When you're manifesting. It's not just about the whole esoteric manifesting part. You also have to take physical action. So we're going to be there, and then the big news is in April. April 19th, the 6-hour manifesting intensive. 6 hours. We are going to be blowing it off the roof at the Learning Light Center in Anaheim. Call now, get your discount, sign up now. You're going to save $20 if you sign up now. And trust me, you come to this event, we're going to do it all. We're going to do it all from A to B. We're going to have hypnosis relaxations. We're going to be manifesting. We're going to be pulling out blocks. We're going to be checking belief systems. We're going to be doing the entire deal in 6 hours. It's going to be insane. You will not leave that place without at least 4 tools that you've used in the workshop that you can use every single day. I say at least. To top it off, we're going to be giving away over $400 worth of goods and services. Okay, we're going to have a raffle, and you do not want to miss this. This is only going to happen once a year. So get down to the Learning Light Center in Anaheim, April 19th, and join us. 6-hour manifesting intensive. It starts at 11 a.m. sharp. We have so much information, we won't even wait for late people. Okay? But if you get there late, don't hesitate. Just trust me, there's 6 hours worth of material. All right? So you'll find out all that information on the website. Go to the events and workshops section. What you think is whatyouget.com. And until I talk to everybody again, I want everybody to have an awesome life and an awesome day, and smile, because it always gets better. And just remember, there's absolutely nothing you cannot do. Okay? I love you all. Take care. Good night.